So.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? What?
Yeah. Right. Read the thing because the thing on.
You actually did this, bro. This guy, just to make sure
I thought I have a reasoning for it.
Just,
First, we're
I
gonna
don't
run
care
over
about
to
how much he talks.
Inspires the team. That's stuff you can't just see on the TV. You gotta have an eye for it. I get you're not there yet, but if you keep reading my reviews, you'll understand one day. It's okay.
My area. Stand up and let's be heard. No more sitting in the shadows. We're known for our winning ways. And not being the best, that just ain't for us. We're loud, we're proud, and we're unapologetic about it. So even when times are looking as dark as the black and blue we wear on our crest, we tell them that Goonies never say die. And when we're done shaking things up on the pitch, there's another shake coming. This is something that's been created by the people, for the people. This is everything and anything San Jose Earthquakes related. This is Aftershock. Vamos, San Jose.
I was in the bathroom, and I was in the bathroom while the game started, because the game was supposed to start at 10 or
Oh yeah. I had to
12:30.
Yeah, I was at work, but
Yeah.
like because I recorded it again, and then when I got home, I was just like fast forwarding, and I'm like, oh my god, we're still going.
Yeah, so I thought the game was supposed to start at 12:30. It started at 12:45. I was in the bathroom because I was like, when is this gonna start? I hear my dad be like, oh my god. So I was like, did we get scored on?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, almost. The goalie made a terrible mistake. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, just so nonchalant.
Came out and it was so bad.
Well, he took a heavy touch forward and then took 2 steps back. And
he just waited way too long. What was he doing, bro?
He made some good saves after, though.
He made a couple good saves, yeah.
Yeah, but it was like the corner. I thought we were gonna get scored on too. He looked a little off. Started slow, like just such an earthquake start.
If we got scored on there, I would have been pissed.
Actually, it wasn't an earthquake start because we would have been scored on, but it was close. Yeah, I think it would have changed the whole game. Like there were so many little moments that could have changed everything.
Espinoza in like the first 15 minutes was pretty good. He actually gave us an outlet, and then once he got the penalty, it felt like everything started moving in our side a little bit.
Welcome to Aftershock, by the way. Anyways, this is about the game versus FC Dallas, but yeah, I thought we were looking better, just like right off the bat, like we were moving and attacking.
Yeah.
And then like we can go more into players later, but like actually seeing the midfielders like grab things and like. The ball, and then like churning and attacking. That was like just so nice to see.
Yeah, it looks like we actually had a motivation to attack this game.
Yeah, the back line was rough.
The back line was luckily only plagued by the one goal, dude. We got so lucky.
Yeah. They could have had about 4 or 5 in the first 4 or 5 minutes.
Fiero.
Yeah.
Fiero. With the goal line clearance.
Honestly, his best game I've seen in a long time. Like it was like nothing bad. Like It's a fantastic game for Fiero when it's just an average game. Like, if he doesn't royally mess up, it's like, oh my god, man of the match. Like, when I saw that when I pulled up, like, Instagram, the first thing that came up is man of the match, like, wear off or like, wherever his ad is. And then, like, all over MLS and everything, everyone's posting his goal line clearance, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, I remember a couple times last season, he had a couple of goals, and we were so shocked. We're like, what is this?
Yeah.
But somehow he's our man of the match.
I thought the set pieces were so good today, but again, like to Quake standards, like they weren't good, but like they weren't terrible. Like I liked our first set piece the most. Where like we all started to run, and then we just played it short down the line, and then we tried chipping it back in. We didn't get the chip off, but like we just looked more dangerous, and then corners looked good. And then other than the first defensive corner and I think the third one, we didn't lose a mark a single time.
Yeah, Alanis on the corner looked pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunate not to score. I think there was a few goal line clearances for them as well, but we actually like had some sort of organization. It didn't look too bad.
Yeah, there was promise, and it was kind of depressing as well. The promise was you saw that the Earthquakes players had creativity, and like we do have some ability, and we do have some like fun when we actually can get going attacking. The sad thing is, it looked like we were playing Houston Dynamo again, but it looked like we were playing their B or C team. Like, Dallas was definitely a step below Dynamo, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A little bit slower and a little bit less fit on top of, they didn't really have a big name to go along with them. It looked like they were kind of rebuilding and stuff.
I suppose. I don't know. Some of their attackers were so quick, though. They had a lot of pace to them, and they caused our defense trouble.
I feel like we covered the pace pretty well compared to previous. Like, usually pace is our weakness.
Yeah.
And I feel like, last week especially, I forget his name, the out wide 10 guy was like Pepe's actual name, like something like he was blistering fast, and we were able to deal with that somewhat, but he was lighting us up. Like, that's why I get scared whenever we play Seattle.
It's just some of the moments where we get caught out, and it's like a little through ball, and we're just completely caught out. What was that one? One of the midfielders on Dallas, they had a little 1-2, and they flicked it over, and Ewell was supposed to keep track of them. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I kind of do,
The guy should have scored. It was
and,
so
yeah,
bad.
and I think Tommy was already up, so there was a gap.
Yeah, we can get exposed sometimes.
The negative ball is killing us. The teams aren't exposing us on it yet, but when we play someone on the Columbus Crew, I think it's going to be really rough. We'll see how DC United does next week. We'll get into more of that later.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the negative ball covering for each other on the back line was still really poor. And then not just like, again, we kind of went back to the good old get it down the wing and just hope for a ball in the center. Like the few times we didn't do that, like we had some really good shots. Like Rios's when he first came in was hilarious. Like I thought that was a banger, and then it went inside of it. And then the penalty, we got the second penalty.
Both penalties, yeah.
Well, no, the second penalty came from a direct play versus crossing it in.
Well, no, the first one Espinoza was.
Well, they played it down the
well.
He played it down the line instead of crossing it. Yeah, but actually. So not crossing it in, but bombing down the wing was our main.
I mean, good things happen when you force the defense to like make a challenge. You know.
All right, time for everyone's favorite segment, and by I mean everyone, Jacob's my player ratings on the games, and he can disagree and be wrong about how the players go. So why don't you just pull up the Google Docs?
So just because I disagree, it means
you're wrong. Yes, exactly. I think.
All right.
Okay. Last week we nearly got in a fight 2 separate days. I made sure not to show him this time until the episode. So these are going to be his actual live reactions.
Oh God.
He's scrolling through it now.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna like him this week. I feel like I feel like I was a little more reasonable.
Yeah.
So let's start with is Marganowski. Yeah, he's the first one.
Yeah. So just to remind everyone, last week it was not my perfectly live reaction. These are my first time seeing them. So.
Yeah. We made sure this time to wait until we start recording. Like I just now shared it with him.
Okay. The first one.
JT.
A 6.6. All right.
Okay.
A very earthquake start. Lucky not to give one away early on. Took a while to look alive. Had a big save at the end of the first half. Distribution seemed to be very slow and not as accurate as you would like. Not at fault for the eventual goal. Really got let down by his defense and had some bounces not go in his favor.
We haven't done the spell checks yet, so while he's reading, if he stutters, that's on me probably.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just try to like give the highlights.
Yeah. You can go to aftershock.club to read our full articles.
Yeah. Basically, I agree with this rating.
Yeah.
You did a good job this
time. Good start.
But this is the first one, so I don't know. But
we got about 15 more.
Yeah, but I agree because. Although he had a couple mistakes with his distribution.
Which is per use.
Yeah, I mean, overall he had some good moments, and like you said, I think the defense was at fault for the goal.
Yeah, I think he had a couple good blocks, but he wasn't looking like super confident.
Yeah, exactly.
This game. All right, the next one, Marie.
All right, so Marie, 6.8. Overall looks good. He's definitely adjusting to the league as he gets some more reps in. Much like the whole back line did not look the sharpest, but they all shined in their own ways at time. Okay, I think I agree with this. He didn't really stand out, but he didn't.
It wasn't bad.
I think that as we'll get into this, I think the defense just got exposed too many times.
They look poor today. They look a little slow.
It's just I don't know. They just did okay, right? I
mean, if like everyone was at like a B standard, they were like a C+.
Yeah, it was just all right. Okay, Alanis, 6.8. Okay. Not as sharp as he usually is, but not a bad performance by any means. Absolutely lovely placement on the penalty to give us the first of the game. Still getting disconnected from Gunworth and opening gaps for the other team. Okay. I personally thought Alanis was our best defender this game, aside from the penalty.
I thought it was Flo. And I know you're never going to ever say that, even if it's true.
No, it's not Flo. It's not Flo. No, I just thought that Alanis has the most composure on the ball. He gets us out of some tricky situations with the ball at our feet. I think that especially Flo really can give me heart attacks when he's on the ball. So I think Alanis, he has the ability to play out from the back.
I thought Alanis just looked a little slower today compared to usual. The passes weren't as quick or precise as they usually are with him. and the positioning was just a little bit off defensively, just like by 1 or 2 steps. Like I said, it wasn't a bad performance by any means, but he's usually a bit sharper, and I just didn't see that as much today. Again, the whole back line wasn't great, and everyone had moments where they had some good aspects of the game, but I expect a little bit better from him.
Yeah, I generally agree with that. Okay. You actually did this, bro. This guy, before we started, he said, I'm going to give the whole... I was thinking about giving the whole back line equal ratings and then giving Youngworth just a point above to make you mad. This guy actually did that. Youngworth, 6.9. Just to make sure
I have a reasoning for it.
Just to remind everyone, he is 0.1 above all of our defense.
I have a reasoning for it, but go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
So overall solid performance, nothing special and nothing. And much like the whole defensive line was not the sharpest, but was a good game. Distribution looked to be better this game, still getting beat at times, and the partnership between him and Alanis is not quite as strong as you like. Okay,
he looks so disgusted.
So I'm just wondering why was he rated above everyone?
Okay,
else?
so I thought he was the best defensively. We can kind of argue that. I thought he was doing a really good job of yelling at the back line just to kind of move and do places. And then if you look, when he was talking to Espinoza, he was the first one to run over to him.
I don't care about how much he talks.
After he missed the penalty, he was the first one to high five him, make sure he's up.
Okay.
When Cade Cowell came over, double hands in the air, let's go.
Right.
That's a team player. That inspires the team. That's stuff you can't just see on the TV. You got to have an eye for it. I get you're not there yet, but if you keep reading my reviews, you'll understand one day. It's okay.
My issue with Flo is not his attitude.
He only got turned once today, and it was like way further up the pitch. It wasn't that bad today. And then on the Fierro one, he kind of got diced a little, but that wasn't as bad. I thought he had, and then also like I don't remember him turning over the ball. Like I would love to see his passing stats.
Overall, I think our defense actually looked okay playing from the back.
But with that, I think just Dallas was worse than Houston at pressing, especially their front line. Like their midfield was a little better, but the offensive was a little.
Okay, we'll get into this in a minute. But I think our midfield was much better from last week. It gave our defense some outlets.
I think also what helped us is we had a defensive scheme that was like really obvious. We were leaving the left center back open, let him tuck in a little bit, dribble, let him pass to the center defensive mid, and then everyone collapsed in on him. I think we did that most of the beginning of the second half, and it just like they didn't see the ball for like 30 minutes.
All right, so then we have Tommy Thompson, and just to remind everyone, he was subbed out very early last week.
Yeah, just look at his shoulder. Yeah.
So this is the first time that we've seen him this season, pretty much in a real game, MLS. 6.8, pretty much the same besides Youngworth. Nice to see him for more than 4 minutes this week, and he definitely helped on offense as it added a little more width and creativity. The defensive ability has improved from the past seasons, but the positioning is still being exposed. I generally agree with that.
Yeah, like when it was one-on-one defending, it was pretty impressive compared to usual. Like his athleticism was really showing. He's always been like a rather athletic guy. But I think another thing that's been killing his positioning, I feel like a lot of the attack came from the left side. Or right side, but their left side.
Yeah. Youngworth and Thompson, that side.
It's dangerous to have them on the same side. Yeah.
It's very scary at times.
Yeah.
Because...
especially when you get a game where the left wingers...
I'm going to like to see how we play against a team that has real attacking
power. Oh, but I loved having him back in the offense.
Yeah.
Like, anytime Tommy's in the final third, you know a cross or some broken ankles are following.
Sometimes, I do remember he held on the ball a little too long at points. I think
I was fine with it, to be honest.
I guess I would have liked to see him put in a little bit of an earlier ball at some points. Sometimes he tried too many turns, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe just...
All right. This next one for me is definitely my man of the match.
So he's referring to Remedy.
Yeah.
8.7, and you know what? I actually agree.
Highest rating we've had.
Highest rating we've had on Aftershock to date.
Well, wait till we get to the rest of the list. But
please tell me you didn't. Okay. Okay. All right. So Remedy, good job collecting the ball and organizing early, intercepted and disrupted play well. Seems to be everywhere and intercepting every ball. Phenomenal performance, and I believe this comes from him not having to play as a third center back this game and actually getting to play in the midfield. I would love to see him be allowed to get forward even more. Okay, so I think that was a key shift from last game, right? He didn't drop as deep. I think that...
he would go to collect it, but it wasn't like, I received the ball, now I'm turning, now I'm just the center back.
For me, I think he was most noticeable on defense, though.
Oh, yeah. He won like every ball.
He was
insane.
A very strong ball winner today. I thought he was all over the place. He played very well.
It was insane.
There was a few moments where he won the ball and then he played it out very smartly. I thought that he looked composed. Overall, I think I would rate him as my man of the match as well. Not Fiero. Not
Yeah.
Fiero.
Yeah.
Well, what is that?
God,
The only thing he did was the goal line.
Yeah. He wasn't terrible.
He got the goal.
My favorite part of Remedy was the first thing he did. The ball goes out to Marie, and then like he's starting to point to Marie, and he's yelling, he's doing all these things. Ball makes its way back to Youngworth, and he's just going like this, and I see him moving his hands, yelling, churning his head constantly, just directing play, and I'm like, yes. Someone doing that for the Earthquakes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think he understands the position well. So.
Yeah. And again, yeah, exactly. He's playing his game now. He got to churn, attack, and show his game. Honestly, I think he has more to offer because I've seen some of his highlights when he was in Atlanta. When he gets into that attacking mid spot from his deep runs, he can be very dangerous. But I think this really suits the Quakes and not having him be a third center back. I'm fine with him checking the ball, but don't become a third center back.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Okay. Now we continue on to Jackson Ewell, 7.1.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you said he didn't shine today, and that was due to the squad as a whole stepping up offensively, which lightened the load on him. Remedy seems to take charge of the game, and it allowed Ewell to float and pick his moments more often. I would have liked to see him more defensively, though. So, I think that Ewell... He wasn't at his full potential today either.
Yeah.
I think that he still looked a little off the pace.
Yeah.
I don't think he had too many poor moments, but he just didn't.
It wasn't special.
Exactly.
And especially from our captain, we expect a little more. And usually we're used to him dictating play. Again, I said Remedy, I think he really took over. But defensively, I feel like just getting caught with those negative balls and the late runners into the box. And then also when Remedy's keeping the standard of what he was doing, I think it makes everyone else around him look a little bit worse. But like again, it wasn't a bad performance by any means. It was just like good average center mid, but we expect more from him as he's one of our star players.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that's going to be interesting to watch is Remedy likes to get on the ball too, and that's kind of what Ewell was trying to do throughout last season. He wanted the ball and he wanted to.
Oh, so he has Judson returns.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. We'll see how that plays out going forward. We'll see. Okay. Now we have Carlos
the
Fierro.
Man, the myth, the legend. Carlos Fierro.
The national...
The man of the match, according to the Earthquakes.
Yeah, somehow, some way. Okay. 7.2. Looks to be working harder this week, and it was nice to see. He really looked to put in a shift every time the ball was lost. Humongous goal line clearance really gave his all defensively and looked a lot more reliable offensively for us. So, I mean, maybe the rating's a little high. I think a 7.2 is maybe a little inflated for Fierro. Maybe it's just because, like you said, we're so used to Fierro just
like anytime there's an average performance, we're just like, yes!
Yeah, I think that while he wasn't as involved offensively, he did have some core defensive moments, and obviously, like it or not, and we love to chirp about him, but that goal line clearance was very big because, you know, our defense was rocky, and if that went in, we could have seen some cracks.
I can't believe I'm saying this because anyone who knows me, it was getting the complete opposite. Rios and Fierro are winning over my hearts and becoming fan favorites because they're doing all the stuff fans love. Because I swear, if you go back and you watch the game, just about every time we lost the ball, Fierro is immediately going to a sprint, or in his case, 5 miles per hour, to go to the nearest person or win back the ball. And he didn't do it every time, but just that effort is what you love to see. And I feel like that's why people loved Judson last year. Like, he was good at winning the ball, but just putting in a shift. And I feel like he got a lot better. And then offensively, I just like, there were a couple times where it was a little iffy, but that's going to happen with everyone. But consistently and for the most part, I feel like he was getting the ball and actually succeeding on pass. And I guess he got an assist today. Like, he just cleared it up the line, and Cal kind of did the rest.
Yeah,
but you know,
that was. I'll be honest, that was a clever flick, though.
I don't think it was a clever flick. I think he was just trying to keep it in bounds, and it happened.
I think he intended that because it was our throw-in. It would have been our throw-in if it went out.
Yeah,
I think he saw Cal and he just knocked it up there.
Yeah.
Okay, now we move on to trophies. A 7.2. I don't know about that. Okay, so defensively was putting in a shift for us. Unfortunately, early on, we did not see him offensively a lot, but when we did, he did a good job of driving with the ball. For for Chofis, I just feel like he wasn't very involved.
Agreed.
You know,
yeah.
we did see him drop deep and just kind of knock it around with
I felt like I
Buell.
saw him all the time on defense, though. Like, I feel like I always saw him shifting it, like, forcing it wide.
I guess. I don't know. I want to see him offensively, though. You know, that's his role for us. We want to see him create.
Yeah.
And I just don't
Yeah.
think we saw too much of that.
I want more from him.
Hopefully, you know, as the season
But again,
goes
not a
on.
poor game. Just like Yule, not a poor game. Just didn't see much from him.
Yeah, I think it was just
Like, he didn't
overall decent Quakes.
I will say he was a big. I think he was a big part of the defensive scheme this week, and part of the trap. If you go back and watch what I was saying earlier about like the center back coming in, I think he was part of the press that kind of then led to Remedy or some of the other options. But so I think he did well today. And again put in a shift defensively, like not the fastest, but just goes at his speed the whole game.
Yeah. All right. Now we move on to Espinosa, 7.3. Needs to find a way to help the offense more than just going on a darting run down the line, but still has a great work ethic and is a great offensive outlet for the squad. Great job to win the first penalty, but a poor effort on the shot. Quality finish to get the second goal, showing he is almost unstoppable when he gets on the counter. Could have easily had a hat trick this game. Yeah, so I agree with that. I think that he was unlucky to, you know.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? I might hear complaints this week.
Not too many.
You coming to your senses.
Yeah.
You're learning. It's all right. Some of us learn the game later in life. It's all right.
I think Espinosa, he looked. It seems like he had spans during the game. You know, he was playing well for like 5-10 minutes, and then he just kind of disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was on, he looked great. That 1-2, or not the 1-2, just the pass from Cowell to put him into space. He looked composed on that finish. That was good. I think
it also seems this season we're doing a lot of every 20-ish minutes. We didn't do a double switch this week, but every 20 minutes he'll switch with Fierro. But
yeah.
about 10 to 20 minutes in this, or about 16 to 20 minutes in this week, he switched to the left side and it didn't really go back. And then, like I said, like on the counter, that's his best attribute. Like I'm almost tempted to put him at striker, but I think he helps us holding on to the ball and getting us out a little bit. So I think that's why he's a little bit better on the wing, plus his work rate.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know. I like him on the wing because he has the ability to go at defenders and dribble.
Yeah, and he won the penalty. It shows.
I like his ability to take people on. So.
I think it draws the defense out, which opens up the middle as well too.
Yeah, but
like I said on the counter, like if we can get him there, that's where.
Yeah,
he's
I mean, of
best.
course, I think he could have scored a couple more, like you
like
said.
Easily hat trick, easily
But,
the penalty, that, and then he had a chance at the very end.
But I am happy he put one of them away because, you know, as a player, if you miss a penalty and you don't score the rest of the game.
Well, if you don't score the 1-on-1.
Yeah, but I'm glad he scored the 1-on-1.
Yeah, it was a lovely shot too.
Because if you miss a penalty, you can totally get hung up mentally.
Can we talk? Okay, actually, I was gonna say, can we talk about the pass? But we're about to.
Yeah, we're about to move on to Cal.
That was insane.
So Cal, you gave him an 8.3. Great bounce back from last week. Good job of mixing up from holding the ball and running into space. Did a great job to be involved. Even when on defense, he caused a lot of chaos. Was a great target for us on our offense today. A world-class ball to get the assist on the second goal. Absolutely clinical on the third goal and did great to beat the defenders. Yeah, so I think first thing we should mention is that through ball to Espinosa.
Oh, that was insane. I thought I was watching young Kevin De Bruyne. I've now called him Kevin De Bruyne, Marcus Rashford, and Thierry Henry in the span of 3 weeks, by the way.
Yeah.
Every week he's getting a Premier League.
Please relax the comparisons a little bit.
We won't name the episode.
Yeah, it's just.
But definitely nowhere near. But the ball was insane.
Yeah, the ball was great. I at first I thought he held on to it just a tad too long.
Oh no, same thing. I'm like, he should have played. Who was making that wide out left?
I think it might have been Fierro or Salinas. Might have been Salinas.
I don't remember, but yeah, I thought he should have played maybe Trophies, but. I thought they should have played him, and then when he didn't play him, I thought he should have attacked that space and then played him again, but he held on for it, and then, I don't want to say he got lucky. I think he got a little lucky in the sense of he holds on to it too long, and the space kind of opened for him. No luck in the sense of, like, just you have to have such quality to pass like that.
Yeah, no, that was a great find. The one thing I will say, though, is sometimes I don't notice him in the game as much. You know, he doesn't come back for the ball too often.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from the assist and the goal, and I mean, I know that's a great contribution. Sometimes I would like to see him be a little bit more involved.
I thought this game he was much better at that, actually. I thought this was his best game in getting involved. I think he had confidence early on, which is a big thing. You feed him the ball early versus when we saw it versus Houston. He didn't get the ball early and he got frustrated and the pressing wasn't as together. And then when he did get the ball, it wasn't very, like, it was selfish and it wasn't like, he didn't look like he cared as much. I could be wrong, but that's just kind of the sense I was getting. This game, it looked like he was excited, ready to attack every time, and he was pressing and using his pace and his ability to really press and trouble the defense. It looked like he was using his attributes correctly this week.
Yeah, I was just making the comparison from last week.
Agreed. But yeah.
It obviously looked a lot better from last week. He was much more involved this week, but I still want to see a little bit more.
Okay. This next rating is my absolute favorite one I wrote. So.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? What?
Yeah. Right, read the thing because the thing on it is hilarious.
Okay, so Wando. All right, so I just want everybody to remind themselves he got a red card.
And played for about 16 minutes.
For about like 15 minutes. Okay. I'll save the rating for after this. Okay. It was really nice that they let him get his daily steps in, and get a few touches along the way. He was on the pitch, and that's about all we can say about the 17-ish minute. Oh my God. He had a nice move to open himself up for a shot. He was kind enough to welcome the fans back into the stadium for the first time since COVID by then sending the shots to the stands to take home as a souvenir. It was extremely harsh to receive a red for his challenge, but that just seemed to be how his day was going. Okay. Saz gave him a 6.5 for that. Let me just, highlight what he said. It was really nice that they let him get his daily steps in.
Yeah.
He was on the pitch, and that's about all we can say about the 17-ish minutes. So,
yeah.
A 6.5. Okay. Can you please, enlighten me?
Think about when you're playing like pro clubs and stuff, right? Like, he was in the right positions, but I guess we weren't finding him. So by kind of creating some runs, and like being in the spot and just kind of being there, it wasn't feel like there was a gap there. He just wasn't like helping us per se, and he kind of disappeared. And that's kind of Wando, and that's kind of like what strikers do sometimes. They kind of disappear and then they find their spot. He disappeared. He got the chance. Fake shot right, sends the defenders flying, goes on his left foot, gives the second row a ball to take home, and then, gets a red card a minute later.
I just can't believe you gave him a 6.5 for getting a red card. Okay.
I thought that was hilarious.
Now we move on to Rios. Now we moved on to Rios.
Yeah.
7.5. Immediate impact. He really found space and put pressure on the defense. Coming on as a sub when the game slows down really suits him, and he is doing well in the central attacking mid position. So I tend to agree. Maybe the rating is a little high, but he played well. He came on and he gave us some options. He had a good shot. Obviously, it wasn't on target, but it was threatening to the goalie.
Well, immediately he was like everyone was running at like a certain pace. He was a little bit above it. Checks to the ball, churns, attacks, plays the ball out wide, gets it back, and hits the shot. Immediately. The
one thing I will say, though, and I liked it from him, was that he did take that shot. Sometimes it feels like we don't test the goalie from improbable positions enough. And what I mean by that is sometimes you just have to test the goalie and take a risky shot.
You never know how it bounces. I mean, like, look at the goalie that scored on us.
Exactly.
JT saves it, bounces right to another defender.
I can't think of too many moments where we do that sort of thing, and I would like to see more. So I'm happy Rios did that. I like taking chances like that.
And I think the biggest point with this, and I think it also applies to Fierro, is they're a bit slower, and I think coming on as a sub really suits them as the game is slowing down so that they have a little more energy and they don't have to run as long, so they can run at a little bit higher tempo, and I think that's when they can really find their footing. And then Rios has been phenomenal this season so far in attacking mid. And I feel like a lot of last season he started to get there. So I think Super Sub Rios is his new name.
Yeah, I do like him.
The Wonder Twins.
The Super Subs. I do like him at that attacking mid position much better than the striker that he was last season at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Okay, Salinas, high energy but really looked lost and disconnected from the play. And as soon as he was put to right back, it seemed all the attacks were coming from his side. You gave him a 6. Yeah, compared to his past performances when he came off the bench, it wasn't as good. But I still think he put in a shift. I mean, I think he was average, and I think that's why you gave him a 6 probably. Right?
I think he's a better left back than he is a right back, and I think it's better to just put him in the attack.
I like him on that left-hand side.
Yeah, so he can cut in a little more, and then our defense is a little better on the left side, especially when we have Espinoza and Alanis over there. And then I believe that he's just a little bit better on the attack. I feel like he's a little bit of a weak spot defensively, but he came out, he pressed the first guy super hard, but then he was out of position and just kind of stood there. And then he looked really out of position the rest of the game. And he was running, because he runs hard and he's got great work ethic, you can't deny it, but he was like a chicken with his head cut off, just was kind of running around. Yeah. They eventually moved him to the left side when Jutson came in, and it got better there, but it was rather poor from Salinas, especially compared to last week where I thought he was one of our betters.
Yeah, I agree with that. I still do like him coming off the bench. I want to keep seeing him. Mm-hmm. I'm glad Alanis is not Alanis. I'm glad Almeida is making subs still. Okay, these last couple we'll just kind of move through these quickly. They weren't on the field as long. So Judson, it was good to see him back on the pitch after receiving his green card. However, he was put to right back, which really limited us from getting to see the engine that Quakes fans fell in love with last year. So, yeah, I think that first of all, he played all right. I think it's going to be interesting to see how him, Ewell, and Remedy play together.
Especially, I'd rather have Remedy right now.
I agree, and so
because I think he offers a little more offensively for us.
Yeah, Almeida has a decision to make. Maybe we even see Ewell taken out if he doesn't start.
Or maybe Trophies and he moves Ewell up.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, we do have options, and I think that's good. We have depth at that position because last season, Judson and Ewell, if one of them was hurt, it was...
Or if you watched last week's episode, you could see how I put all four of them into the lineup.
Okay. Now we move on to Haji, and...
these last two didn't have range because they only played
Haji,
10 minutes.
He looked excited and energetic, like most young players when they get their rare appearance. I would have liked to seen him come on earlier, as we did not get to see much of him for his 10 minutes. I think you're maybe painting his performance in a little bit too of a negative light. I thought he actually played well.
I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I thought he had a couple moments on the ball where he just looked a little bit, quick, a little...
Yeah, the touch was a little heavy, though.
I guess. I don't know. He had a couple good moments. I like it.
Again, it wasn't bad, but, it was 10 minutes.
Yeah,
we were up 3-0.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to stop you from raving about Wando when he gets a red card and you think he's great.
Do I need to remind you who our captain is?
I don't care if he's our captain when he plays like that.
Yeah, no, that was a little rough. No, but we're up 3-0. Play the young ones. I don't care about Salinas coming on.
Yeah, I do agree. I want to see some more of the young players. We touched upon this last week. I want to see more of the young kids put in. We don't need to keep seeing Wando. We don't need to keep seeing Salinas every time, although I do like Salinas.
Yeah.
We definitely need to start rotating a little bit more.
It's been a great game for Beeson.
Yeah. And I think that overall, just to summarize, I think the Quakes had a decent performance, solid performance.
Weaker team, though, for sure.
Weaker team.
Shows some promise, but also shows a limitation.
Yeah, as we get into these more difficult fixtures.
When you have a solid back line and a star front line on the other team, I don't know how we're going to handle that.
Yeah, we'll have to see that.
Yeah. Would have liked to see some more young talent. Kikanovic, again, not on the bench. I don't think we're going to see him all season. I don't think we're going to see...
Maybe now that Wando has the red card, he's suspended for a couple of games. Maybe we could see that. But...
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Lopez either. Probably an injury. He came off 60th minute last time.
Yeah, he wasn't even in the squad.
Yeah,
so.
Lucio would have also been nice to see. Abicasas was another one. Wasn't even on the bench. So I hope they're healthy. I hope they come back. They're a bit older players, too. So hopefully they can come back in a week or two.
Yeah.
And then...
I agree.
Benji, hopefully he can maybe make him in the squad. Gilbert Fuentes, Jacob Anchorage. Just, again, would have loved to see some of the new guys, some of the young guys. Again, I don't have a problem with Shay. First off, I'm happy we use the subs, because sometimes we don't. Would have liked to see some of them come on a little earlier, like maybe Judson. And I got he's kind of coming back from his first game back, so maybe don't throw him into the fire right away. But some of the young guys like Haji would have been really nice to see a bit earlier.
Yeah, one thing though, it's easy for us to say now because we won. I think that Almeida, we're in our first potentially winning game of the season.
Secure the points.
Secure the points.
Secure the points. Agreed.
I think that we do.
Oh yeah, we got to win. Came out hot. Yeah.
So
everything we asked for.
Yeah. So I think that we do have to keep in mind. I'm glad we closed out the game.
Yeah.
So.
But now we're moving on to DC United next week. I thought it was a solid performance, but we can go into what we think the lineup should be. We'll talk just for one more second, some good things. Corner set pieces were better. I mean, we got a counterattack. We need to find a way to get more counterattacks because I think that's where we're the most dangerous, especially with Espinoza up top.
Yeah.
Doing good marking. Got to watch those late runners. And then, I think that's most of it.
Yeah, so as we move into the game against DC United, at the time of recording this, they've only played one game, and they won that game 2-1, so...
Who'd they play?
I forget who they played, but we have to expect a good team. We have to be prepared.
It's MLS. Anything can happen every
day.
Yeah,
exactly. So, all right.
So we'll start with Jacob's lineup, and then just make sure you talk through it for James on Spotify. What's up, James?
What's up, James? Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, my lineup is pretty much similar to last week.
I'll give you a quick summary, James. It's the exact same lineup that we played against Dallas.
Yeah, minus Murray. So
Oh, okay.
4-2-3-1, and basically JT.
Oh wait! Oh wow! Okay. Sorry, the second center back. I'll let you get to that, but we are in for a surprise here.
Yeah.
Every week your lineup changes about 3 or 4 players, but the holy trinity, the staple of your lineup has changed.
I know. So he's referring to Youngworth, paired with Alanis, Thompson, and Lopez. Okay, so first disclaimer: I know Lopez is injured. We'll see if he's back in time.
If he's fit,
not,
we think he's.
If he's not, then Marie slots in there, right? Okay.
Yeah, so, and I think Marie's it's a downgrade, but he's put in more solid performances. And like I said, as he gets more games, I feel like he's getting more comfortable with the standard. I still think it's a drop from Lopez, but it doesn't hurt as bad.
Yeah, so we'll see how that works. But Youngworth, right?
Yeah, Fiero into.
Youngworth, right? I don't like him, but
over Beeson. Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna look like a fool if I keep putting Beeson in there, but
I'm surprised you didn't put Jutson in there.
Yeah, maybe, dude. No, but granted, we came away with a win. I can't really make too many changes across the back line, right? So I have him, and then
put a little chemistry with Alanis as well.
I actually did switch up Thompson in at right back because last week I had Abacostas. Thompson there just because he looked decent this game, and I'm not going to change too much. Okay.
Yeah, getting exposed on that side though is a little.
Our
scary.
midfield: Remedy, Ewell, and Chofis. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I think that we have room to improve, but we look good enough, and I'm happy with seeing them play again.
Where do you want Jutson to come in? Do you think he should come in as a sub? Do you think where and when?
I don't think that.
I don't want him as a right back.
We can't touch Remedy right now after that performance. I will say if Ewell doesn't start performing more, we could see Judson swap in for Ewell.
And then maybe that frees Remedy to go a little more forward. Yeah,
who knows how that works out.
Remedy,
I do want to see Judson come in as a sub. I mean, I think that he does bring energy. He's a ball winner, right?
Okay,
so,
on this next one, let's go right to left because.
Okay, yeah. So
that left one.
And at the right wing, I've got Espinosa and.
That's a shoe and first name on the team sheet every week. I feel.
I agree. Espinosa's definitely got to be in there for us. Okay, then we have Trophies up top, like I said.
Attacking mid,
yeah. And then.
And a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, Fiero in at left mid. I can't believe I did this, but when you have the Quakes man of the match, you gotta put him.
Yeah, you gotta respect the Quakes man of the match.
No, but honestly, I would be fine with seeing him again. He didn't play bad this week.
The last 2 games defensively, he's been good.
Yeah, and I'm fine with seeing him.
And he's not killing us offensively.
I will say though, I want to see more from him offensively because at the end of the day, he is supposed to be an attacker.
Yeah.
So we need to see that.
Now, this next one, you have Cal up top, and last week you said you don't like Cal as a striker, especially when he's a bit smaller and he doesn't have the pace. Yeah, what changed this week?
He made me eat my words. I still stand by that playing striker that young is tough.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he did score and assist, which obviously as a striker, that's what you're there to do. At times, I want to see him be more involved. Hopefully, he continues this form somehow, and we can maybe see him again.
I think it depends week to week, to be honest. I think when we play Seattle in 2 weeks, I think he's better suited on the wing.
Yeah.
Maybe if you have Fiero there again, it puts in a little more defensive effort, and you could have him and Espinosa on the attack. But I think it really comes down to week to week.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, now we can move on to my lineup. I had 2 lineups last week, and I like the diamond that I was working with, but I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Probably impractical.
Yeah, so I think the lineup we had today versus Dallas, I think that's going to be the lineup we're going to be seeing on Saturday.
I agree.
Next week. But I wanted to change a few things. So I'm going with the 4-2-3-1. I have JT in goal. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Lopez, I think we both agree, is the best left back. If he's injured, just slot Marie in there. I have Youngworth and Alanis. I meant to have Alanis on the left and Youngworth on the right, but that's just how
you get the idea.
Yeah, that's how it came out. I want Abicostas back at right back. I think Tommy, again, it showed offensive ability is great, and the one-on-one defending skills are infinitely better than they have been in the past. But I think the positioning still lacks it, and when he attacks so much, having Youngworth on that side too, where he likes to step, really exposes us. So I'd like to have a little more security with that with Abicostas. Hopefully he's there. And then I have Ewell and Remedy in the center. Now, I think Remedy, he just earned a spot over Judson. I thought that was a stellar performance, deserves to be there, and we can continue moving it forward. And then Chofis attacking mid still, I think that's there. I think Fiero and Rios are better suited coming on as subs. I can't believe I said it because I just said I was giving him so much last week. But I think Fiero deserves to be a sub. He earned it. Now, I know most people want him starting, but I think just when the pace of the game has really died and everyone's tired, it's so much better for them to come on and just give 30 minutes worth of energy versus having to spare it over 60 or 90. And then, now I moved Espinoza to the left wing because he ends up moving there most times. This gives him the ability to cut onto his right foot, and it'll help with the counterattacks a little bit more. Now, for the right mid, I put Tommy Thompson because when he's playing right back, he ends up going down the line anyways, and it'll give us a little more creativity and someone that can hold the ball up a little bit more and gives us a little skill out wide. I think that's just a good option for right now. We can see more as the games develop. Do I think that's going to happen? Of course not. But we can see what's happening. And then I like Cal up top. I had him out wide last week, but Wando's going to be out, and I think he did good. I think he showed a giant improvement. It was a complete turnaround from the first week. The first week it looked like he was a winger that just kind of got put up top, and I hate when they just put fast players up top just for reasons because they're fast. But I feel like he showed he could do hold-up play this week, and it was a lot better.
Yeah, I think that he definitely had a much stronger performance from last week. As I said, hopefully he can get more involved.
Yeah, how do you feel about the lineup overall, though? I feel about Thompson. I feel like that's the big one.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I do... It's tricky because Thompson and Abicasas, they offer so much of a different play
skill set. Yeah,
right?
More defensively for one, more offensively for the other, yeah.
I will say when we do play stronger attacking teams, we definitely should have Abicasas at the right back.
Agreed. Some subs we'd want to see. Again, some of the young guys. Wando's out, so I'd love to see Kikanovic.
Yeah.
If he's on the bench this week.
I would love to see him come up top for Cowell or something. That would be cool.
Just 20 minutes, 15.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more of Hadji. I didn't really get to see him much.
Yeah.
Judson, I feel like, needs to get his legs back, come in. Fiero and Rios, I feel like, have deserved and earned spots. Salinas, depending on the scoreline, out wide.
Or even if we're trying to protect a lead, bring on a third center back or something.
Give him some experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it a 5-back, or if we're up a ton, put Beeson in. Let him get a couple minutes of game experience.
Yeah, because you never know when there's an injury and we need to, put them in the lineup,
Yeah, I completely agree that we need to get the points and secure the lead, but I really would have liked to see some people get some chances this week that we did not get chances.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, time for our most popular section, the fan questions. Again, just hundreds and hundreds. It's really hard to choose.
Yeah.
This week, even more questions.
More questions. It was very difficult. We couldn't give them all to.
We really scout. We're across all of the internet to find all our different platforms, and we chose these two.
Yeah, very, very good questions.
Yeah. And, for future, we're willing to do more than two, but we feel that these two were above standard, and that we could only choose these two. But in future, we may do more.
Yeah.
Definitely not waiting for people to please follow us.
No. We've got dozens of followers.
Well, the first one from Tectonic Takes. This is another actually earthquakes related thing. Go check them out on Instagram and their YouTube. I believe they have one. They're pretty cool guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Give us a follow. Their question was, what do you guys think of the back line without Marcus Lopez? I think we just both agree worse.
Yeah, I think that
less defensive ability.
We've touched upon this already, but I think Lopez is definitely our best left back at the club. And honestly, him and Alanis are the two best defenders in our back line for me, for sure. I think Youngworth and Thompson.
Abicasas is up there for me, to be honest.
Yeah, but we haven't really seen him too much. But without Lopez, it's worse.
I think the only thing Marie offers possibly better is the final third.
Yeah.
Maybe as far as shooting, because we saw that goal.
Yeah, but I do like Lopez's.
Overall, I think Lopez is better positioning, gets beat less, better defensive ability, a little bit better passing, and just a little bit better movement.
Yeah,
but Marie's looking a lot better.
I do think that in the big games, we definitely need Lopez back in.
Yes.
I think that Marie could get exposed on defense for sure.
Yeah.
So hopefully, whatever injury he has, he'll be back soon.
Yeah. I think that was a great question, though.
Yeah, good question. Thank you.
Yeah, we have a lot of lineup changes. We have some depth this year. And we kind of used it last year, but the rotating players actually look kind of decent.
Yeah.
Definitely a drop in quality, but
Yeah,
we're getting there.
I think that we have impactful subs though, although they may
The Wonder Twins, Rios and Firo.
Yeah, I know, but I think that Rios has had positive impacts. Salinas does have the quality to produce final third, results, and it's nice to know that we do have options and threats coming off the bench. It's good to see.
All right, up next and our last question, the GOAT. You couldn't dare believe we leave our boy off the list. The best. What's up, James? How you doing? What's up? What's the dime of a question? He got
two questions.
Yeah, he got. Hey, in future, James, I know you're our only listener and only one that cares. But if you're gonna have two questions, you best believe you're leaving two comments.
Yeah.
Trying to sneak that in.
Yeah, we're trying to boost our social media metrics.
I mean, not that. Yeah, I mean, they're already so full.
Sorry.
But only because you're the GOAT will allow it.
Imagine when we pass the Earthquakes main account. Imagine.
Yeah, we need 3 more followers. Yeah. I think we had record high attendance this week with 15 people at the stadium. But James, you're allowed 2 questions because you're the GOAT. Everyone else, I want separate comments.
Yeah.
All right, Dala_Bill17. First question: how should we use Haji going forward?
I actually advocated for this last week as well, and the week before. I do enjoy watching Haji come off the bench because he has that little bit of flair. He has the quality to really go out a defender, and he's just got that technical skill set. Having said that, it's tough to see who he slots ahead of in the starting lineup. I do want to see him, get a start at some point, maybe over Fierro or something, because we definitely would like to see Fierro rotated. I don't know. I want to see him used more as a sub, definitely at least. Going forward, I don't know, as a starter, hopefully he can get some chances with Fierro coming off the bench at some point. I don't know. What do you think?
I'll have to disagree with that just a little bit. The premise I agree with, but I think when Cade Cowell was coming onto the scene, we saw just a little bit more off the bat, especially I think we just maybe heard more about him, especially because we don't know him, but we knew of him growing up.
Yeah.
And I definitely agree. I would have loved to see him play a little bit more today. I want to see some sub appearance. Anytime we're up to 3 goals or down 3 goals, realistically, I want to see him coming on, getting at least 20, 30 minutes, not just 10 minutes. Really let him show what he can do and get more comfortable. And then maybe if we're getting really comfortable and we have some good points, maybe let him start the second half of a game. Mm-hmm. And then maybe if it's like a lower end team and we have some good points and we're trying something new, I don't think we're at the point where we can have the conversation of him starting yet. Definitely sub appearances. Not even a consistent sub, but maybe every couple games.
We'll see.
We need to build for the future though, and I think that's there.
Yeah.
All right, and we're gonna be really quick with this next one, just for the sake of me keeping it PC. Thoughts on the Super League? They don't even deserve to have league in there.
Proper pronunciation.
Yeah, jeez. Non-Quakes question, lol.
Okay. You want to tackle it first?
Yeah. Actually, no. You go first.
Okay. First of all, for those who don't know, the Super League was basically this agreement by some of the top clubs in Europe to break away from their domestic leagues and the Champions League and basically enter this new league where you couldn't be relegated. It would be the same teams playing each other every year.
Well, the founding members couldn't be relegated, so the rich clubs couldn't be relegated.
But that's who everybody was angry about.
Yes.
And it was more or less a cash grab.
It's pathetic.
The marketing rights, I know JP Morgan backed them with billions of dollars. It was essentially motivated by greed.
Yeah.
And it really deviated from the founding principles of football. Mm-hmm. My opinion on it, I don't think it's good for the game. I'm glad to see the fans around the world, really spoke up about it, and we saw some big movements in the upper management of some of these clubs. Ed Woodward leaving Manchester United.
Thank God. I'm not a Man U fan, but he was terrible for
I know there's a lot of people putting pressure on Kroenke of Arsenal right now, the owner. Hopefully we can weed out some of these, owners, these billionaire owners who really just don't have a passion for the game. Maybe they do have a passion, but stop treating it like a business. Really speak to what the fans want, and hopefully we can never see something like this pushed forth again. I'm not against change. However, this was not the right approach.
I'm also not against them bringing it up again. I'm against them just saying we're doing it without like consulting, because they just said, hey, we're doing this now. They didn't like bring it to a vote. It's been talked about so much, it literally has ruined my mood multiple times, so I'm just going to keep it short. Pathetic, disgusting. I don't have like a specific team in Europe I root for, but I use a lot of those teams I would root for in certain competitions. I'd love to see City win the league. I'd love to see Aguero lift a trophy, right? I love watching the Manchester United games early in the morning. They're always fun. I don't care what their lineup is. They just have a good squad usually. Disgusting, just completely takes the fun out of the game. And I think it is really influenced by American soccer. Like, I am the biggest U.S. soccer fan you will ever meet. It is my lock screen. It is my keychain. I have so much stuff. Like, I represent it very well and I love it. But U.S. soccer is very, very flawed. And I feel all that, what was it, like 8 of the companies were U.S. owners. It was something ridiculous. And you just saw a U.S. influence in it where money takes over the game. And as someone who was affected by this, it really started to hurt me because soccer is about a game or football, like even, is a game about working hard and passion, and it sucks that people would be priced out of something. And that's what happens in America. There are a lot of good talent of kids that get priced out because they can't afford to go play the game. Zlatan even said it over here. It's ridiculous that someone has to pay $3,500 to get their kid on a decent club team, right? So it just really took everything out of the game, especially when you think of England and the working class cities that did it. Sunderland. Me and Jacob loved the Netflix series Sunderland Until I Die.
Shout out Sunderland Until I Die.
Make another season on Netflix.
Seriously, like
that's our favorite show. But it shows the working class citizens. It's just a culture like that's something people don't get here. Like you always hear like, oh, they love the game more over there. It's so culturally different. It's none of our sports compare to it. It's just the whole city's mood will change. You lived in England for 3 months. You saw it firsthand. The whole city, even if they don't care about the sport too much, rides on how their team does that week because they built it from the ground up, and it's just it's near and dear to them, and there's an honor to it. And this is now some people say, okay, what happens when Manchester City or PSG get these investors to invest in them? That's different because they can still be relegated. They can still be beat by teams here and there and not make the Champions League. And we're seeing with Liverpool this season. Very rich team. Can't make the Champions. Doesn't look like they're making the Champions League at this moment. It can still happen, and there's still fairness. And Leicester City is one of the coolest stories that's ever happened in the history of sports. Could never happen in this Super League. And it's just disgusting, and it's ruining my mood again to talk about it, so I'm moving on. Yeah. But James, because you're my homeboy, if you want to get on a phone call and get a drink over it, I got you, boy.
Yeah. Well, I'll just finish it out real quick. It really just attacked the founding principle of competition in the game of football, right? You don't want to see a league where the top teams, for the most part, can't be relegated. That's the beauty of, the Premier League and all these great domestic leagues. Anybody can get beaten at any time. And to see these clubs think they're entitled to this, elitist group, it's disgusting. And especially because, for example, Arsenal, Manchester United, Tottenham, they're not even in the Champions League currently. Yeah. And it's just ridiculous. So
Leicester's they've won just as much as Liverpool, and they've won more than Tottenham, and they've done just as much as Arsenal and some of the others.
Yeah, so it's just ridiculous how these, wealthy clubs just somehow had this,
Like, how dare you? Who do you think you are?
This right to join this league. It's terrible.
And I would hate to see what American soccer does with pricing people out of the game and things like that be influenced by them. Like in Europe and stuff. It's disgusting.
Side note, real quick, just on a different topic, I was actually thinking about going to the Quakes game today. The tickets were expensive, like $140 on Ticketmaster, yeah. And I think that's because of limited capacity and it's the home opener. But yeah, compared to some of these normal prices you can go to Quakes games for.
How much was a game in England? I know obviously you weren't there during COVID times, but
yeah, well, for example, I went to 4 games, I believe. Chelsea, I think I paid $70 for.
You had good seats at the Chelsea game.
Yeah, I was right on the sideline. It was awesome. And then I went to an England game. I think that was like $80.
You went to a Champions League game as well.
I went to a Champions League.
The seats weren't the best there, but still, like.
No, but it was awesome. I went to a Champions League.
It's the Champions League.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's the Champions League.
And that one was more expensive.
That was the Tottenham game where they had the giant comeback.
Yeah, it was crazy. I think I paid $130 for that. And just keep this in your mind. I would pay more for a Quakes game than a Champions League game. Come on now.
That game was like 4-5, 4-3.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I'm paying that much to watch Wando.
For 15 minutes, he steps in.
But it's just there needs to be more regulation of pricing.
I gotta pay $30 for standing room at Quakes games.
Yeah, it's well, hopefully the.
And then it's like $50 for parking.
Yeah, I know we get ripped off on parking.
Yeah. So
whatever. But yeah, that was just a side note. Quakes tickets were expensive, so if you're expecting the normal $30 ticket prices, definitely look into it. Maybe it'll change soon.
Yeah. Just last, what we want for next week. Obviously, it wouldn't be cool, but I want points again. I'm cool with a tie next week.
Yeah.
I don't know how DC is, but I'm cool with the tie.
Are we
next
at
week.
DC or are we?
I forget, but we should probably know this.
Yeah.
I want at least a point, just that way we're not bottom table, or at least like we're still like in vicinity, because 3 out of 3 games is not good.
Yeah.
4 out of 3 is still not great. If we can get 6 points, that'd be great. Out of 3 games.
Yeah.
But just like I at least a tie, especially because if we get a win, that'd be huge, because Seattle's going to be rough.
Yeah, I think if we play similar to how we did this week, I think we'll be in a good position.
I also want to play strong. That's the thing. I don't want to just like somehow scrape out a tie.
I want to see a Dallas performance. I don't want to see a Dynamo performance.
Yeah. So just coming out strong.
Yeah, no more 30-second in like scares from JT, bro. I swear.
Yeah. All right. Peace.